In today's lesson, we're going to introduce the idea of surface area and use it to work out the surface area of cubes and cuboids. Surface area is the total area of all of the faces in a 3D object. Because it's an area, that means our units are going to be things like centimetres squared, millimetres squared, metres squared, and so on. Now, the best way to demonstrate how to calculate surface area is through an example. In our example, it asks us to find the surface area of the cube which has length 8 meters. Using our understanding of the properties of 3D shapes, we know that cubes have 6 faces. That therefore means that there's 6 areas that we need to calculate. Fortunately for us, we know that those 6 faces each have the same area. So to work out the surface area of this cube just here, let's think about one of its faces. I know that each of the lengths are 8 meters, so the area is going to be 8 by 8, which is 64 meters squared. Because it's a cube and all of the other faces are of equal area, we can therefore say that the surface area is going to be 64, which is the area of one face, times by 6, because there's 6 equal faces. I can use my calculator to help me work this out. So 64 times by the 6 faces is 384. That therefore means that my surface area is also 384 meters squared. Now, they could also ask you to reverse this process. So in this example, it says that the surface area of a cube is 864 centimeters squared, and it wants us to know what one of the side lengths of the cube is. Now, because we know a cube has 6 equal faces, we can work out the area of one of these faces by taking the surface area, which is 864, and sharing it equally between those 6 faces. Again, if we need to use our calculator to help us, we can. So I need to do 864 divided by 6, which gives us 144. Therefore, the area of one face is 144 centimeters squared. Now, our question asks us to work out one of its side lengths. Because it's a cube, we know that each of its side lengths are going to be the same, and therefore each of the faces are going to be squares. Because we know that the area of one of the faces is 144 centimeters, we can work out its side length by square rooting that answer. I know that the square root of 144 is 12, therefore the side length is 12 centimeters. So your first task is to complete the questions that you can see on the screen right now. The first section is working out the surface area of 8 cubes, and then the extension task is 4 questions very similar to the one that I've just demonstrated in the last example. This is also attached as a worksheet in the resources to help you section on Show My Homework. Once you've completed all of the questions, please check your answers very carefully against those that are provided on Show My Homework as well. Make sure that you correct any mistakes before you move on to the next part of the lesson. In the next part of the lesson, we're going to look at working out surface areas of cuboids. Just like our cuboid has 6 faces. However, not all of them are going to be the same. So let's start by thinking about the individual faces and what their areas are. So this top face is 5 millimeters by 4 millimeters. That means it has an area of 20 millimeters squared. This right hand face here is 4 millimeters by 2 millimeters. That's an area of 8 millimeters squared. And lastly, this front face has an area of 5 millimeters by 2 millimeters, which is 10 millimeters squared. If we think about the properties of our cuboid, we can also recognise that the top face, which is 20 millimeters squared, is going to have the same area as the face on the bottom. The face which is 8 millimeters squared on the right hand side is going to be the same as the face on the left, and this front face, which is 10mm squared, is going to have the same area as the face on the back. That therefore means to work out my total surface area, I can simply add these three faces together and then double my answer, because each of those faces are going to repeat themselves twice in the cuboid. So, to get my surface area, I know that I need to add 20 to 8 to 10, which are my three faces, and then double my answer. And I can use my calculator to help me work that out. So I'm going to start off with a bracket and 20 plus 8 plus 10, because I want to work that bit out first. Once I've got that, I can times my answer by 2. That gives me a surface area of 76. So I can say the surface area of my cuboid is 76 millimeters squared. So your final task is to work out the surface area of each of these cuboids. Again, if you prefer to have a sheet, this is attached in the resources to help you section on Show My Homework. Remember, to work out the surface area of cuboids, you want to think about the three different faces that you can see, add them all up and then double your answer. That's because each of those three faces repeat themselves on the hidden side of the cuboid. Once you've worked all of these out, check your answers carefully against those that have been posted on Show My Homework, and once you've corrected any mistakes, take a photo of both bits of work you've done today and submit it to Show My Homework so I can see how you've got on. If you are struggling to complete some of the work from today's lesson, then please do not hesitate to get in touch via comment on Show My Homework. I'll try to make myself as available as possible and get a reply to you as quickly as I can. If the issue requires a little bit more input from myself, I might ask to arrange a time to meet on Teams where I can give you some personalised help with that specific problem.